Hey, this is Terry with Total Life Pursuit. This is teaching number 10. Number 10, we got 2 to go. This one and then my last teaching in the physical health training course. I hope you've been working through the manual. I hope it's been a blessing to you. You're making some changes in your life. You're feeling better. You're looking better. You're living better. All of those kind of things. Today, I want to talk to you about one of the big deals with your body. I haven't saved the best to last. It's just a big deal. And I'm going to talk to you about stress. You think, well, wait a second now, Terry. Stress, that's like an emotional thing. Well, I get that. It's a mental thing, emotional thing, but it's very physical. Neurobiologist Robert Sapolsky said, stress is not a state of mind. It's not a state of mind. It's measurable and dangerous, and humans can't seem to find their off switch. You see, isn't that the problem? You know, we have this stress thing, and it's put in us. It's designed in us by God. It's, you know, we see something, or we feel something, or we hear something, and that comes into, you know, like if you see something, into the visual cortex, which sends it to the amygdala, and the amygdala, it assesses, hey, is this life-threatening or is it not? And from the amygdala, it sends it to the hypothalamus, and from the hypothalamus to the pituitary, and from the pituitary to the adrenals. We are adrenaline glands. You know, we got these adrenal glands. And so and then the adrenals, if the amygdala has said, yeah, this is life-threatening, like Big Bear on the way, then all of a sudden you get this epinephrine or adrenaline that runs through your system. But it also secretes cortisol and norepinephrine and all of these chemicals and other chemicals, and then other chemicals react to those chemicals, and that's where you feel juiced. You feel juiced throughout your whole body. You have this nervous system reaction that happens, and you're all juiced. Our problem is we stay juiced. It's called chronic stress, because all of that is good. It's to get out of danger. It's to fight the battle for your life. It's to run away from a train, and when you fell asleep on the tracks, don't sleep on the tracks. You know what I mean, though? It's for danger. Unfortunately, what we do is we just use stress reaction in our entire day. When there's no rest period, then we're not operating like we're designed to operate physically. And physically, we were only supposed to have short bursts. You've seen it on all of the nature shows where they got the lion that's stuck in the zebra or the antelope or whatever it is. And you're like, ooh, be careful, little zebra. You know, even I'm a guy. I'm a carnivore, but I feel bad for the zebra. You know, you just kind of feel bad. You know, it's picking on the little guy, and so that zebra takes off, and the lion takes off, and it's a chase. Do you know that when the lion doesn't get the zebra in about 45 seconds, it just stops? How come? Because all of its energy is going to that chase, because for the lion, it's food. For the zebra, it's life. And both of them stop after so long. Why is that? Because they listen to their design. Our problem is we think that somehow we can handle it if we're stressed out all the time. Now, there is this good stress, and I want to give a little talk about that. Not a little, just a sentence or two. No, you go on a thrill ride. I love thrill rides. I've gone skydiving. That was a stressful event. But you know, it's good stress when you're on your way down, especially after your chute opens. It's really good. So, but you know, your first kiss is a stressful event. It's good stress though. And you know, when you get an award and you get up in front of everybody, it's kind of a stressful event, but it's good stress. And this is called eustress. It's natural. It's normal. It also subsides quickly because your first kiss doesn't last that long, does it? I don't know. And I can't think back that far. But anyways, some people get hooked on that stress. Good or bad, it's still the same thing. So some people get hooked on it. They get hooked on this stress response. They become adrenaline junkies. I was just watching this these crazy guys and they're paragliding, so they've got a parachute and they're gliding. And it's like, how close can we get to the side of this mountain? And how close can I get to the ground? I mean, literally, they're doing these spins, and it looks like they're feet away, traveling at probably 40, 50 miles an hour. Their feet just 3, 4, 5 feet away from the side of a mountain or from the ground. It's mind-boggling. Those people are adrenaline junkies. And what does that mean? They love the feeling of adrenaline in their body. And they really do get addicted to it. But it wasn't supposed to be like that. It was supposed to be short, brief periods. Not all of these, well, let me put it this way. Cortisol, one of the stress hormones, that's the hormone that kind of in an accident kind of slows down time, It really helps you focus when you're studying for a test. It does a lot of really great things, like in the morning. It's the highest in the morning. Why? It wakes you up. It gets you going. It's my coffee, since I don't drink coffee. It's my coffee in the morning. It gets me going. It's a good thing. The problem is high levels of cortisol and other adrenal secretions when they go all day long. That's a toxic load on your body. So what's really happening when we are in high stress for too long, or chronic stress? When you are in chronic stress, or when you're in stress period, even just running after your food, right? Hunting it down. I know that's the store and it's not that scary these days, but you know what I mean when we were hunter-gatherers. When we're stressed out, our digestive system shuts off. We don't digest our food. Our intestines don't operate right, are large or are small. Why? Because there's no blood there. There's nothing happening there. Why? Because stress means life and death. Stress can be a sole disruptor of your proper digestion. The stomach and the pancreas that are charged with beginning the breakdown of food do not produce the proper amounts of acids and enzymes. Also, high stress actually shuts off or drastically reduces the digestive system in its movement, because it's a big muscle, right? And so it kind of, like you would milk a cow, how you milk an udder. You milk an udder like that. It's the same thing. That's how it sends the food through your digestive system, through your intestines, through your lower intestines. Same thing. High levels of stress hormones assures that the blood and the energy is not going to go there. It's going to the life-threatening event. This should make sense to you. Everything is to preserve life. Thyroid function is downregulated. Insulin also decreases. Why does that happen? Well, because insulin, you want that sugar in the blood and in the liver, because you have a life-threatening event. You get where I'm going, right? Because when we're stressed out all day, it's not a life-threatening event, but these things still happen. Our digestion is still shut down. Mental stress leads to chronic activation of the neuroendocrine system. What is that? It's like an open circuit. There's supposed to be a closed circuit. It's supposed to okay, we've got enough adrenaline in the system. Let's just pick on adrenaline, epinephrine. We've got enough adrenaline in the system, so we should close it. But you're still stressed out by your thinking, you're still stressed out. So your body's like, oh no, just leave that circuit open and just keep pumping the adrenaline. That is a major problem. Cortisol slows down your metabolism. It slows it down. It releases sugars and fats into the bloodstream. It's good in a famine. It's bad when you're eating, fast food twice a day because you're working so hard at a stressed out job. It also, cortisol favors the central fat, I want to say disposition so bad, but it's not disposition, deposits, and it decreases the signaling that you're full, and it increases the signaling that you're hungry. You see, because if you can eat food, your body wants to eat food so it can maintain the energy level, so it can stave off the life-threatening issue. Our problem is, again, we don't have a life-threatening issue. We just have thinking that is doing all sorts of bad to our body. So how about weight gain? Let's just talk about it for a second. I'm going to fill you with more facts than I probably need to, but this is really interesting stuff to me, and so it should be to you. No, I'm just kidding. This is really cool stuff, and some of you are going to grab onto this, what I'm talking about, or some of you are going to grab onto what I'm talking about in about 10 minutes. So, visceral fat is making weak cortisone into strong cortisol, and that puts the body in a storage state. So in a storage state, independent of calorie math, independent of how much you're consuming, independent of how much you're burning, when you're in the storage state, you're going to hold on to that stuff. You're going to store it. Your body's in a state which it feels it needs to act for its survival. So it does, and that means I'm going to gain weight so I'll have enough energy later to operate myself. That's what your body's thinking. It feels there's an impending crisis or some pending crisis. A famine is coming. A seasonal change is coming. So I've got to store my fuel because I didn't, shoot my buck, or I didn't have enough, vegetables in my garden or whatever. There's literally a switch by which you take calories that you eat and you put them down in the storage compartments and you take it away from the furnace or the metabolism to burn them. So you don't burn it for fuel, you store it. And that shifts and alters the intestinal function. And that intestinal function can go wacky right then. So how long do you have to be in chronic stress? I don't know. They don't know. How about just not being in chronic stress? See, the interplay has more to do than just shutting down the intestinal tract or having it not work properly. That also leads to massive inflammation in all of your body because you're in a state of stress. And now you're inflamed in all your body, and guess what? Now your body's like, wow, we're totally stressed because we're all inflamed. So we got to move everything to the storage area. Regular high-stress, elongated events cause this vicious cycle that entrenches the bodily reaction into fat storage mode, even if you have peace for a time. Now, I'm going to teach you some techniques on how to come down from your stress levels several times a day at the end of this video. But I'm telling you that one day of peace or a half a day of peace for 10 days of stress is not going to do any good for this function or any others. High stress levels slow down your healing process. So you have a bone that's broken, you have a skin that's been ripped open or cut open, you have a disease that you need healing from, you have internal issues that you need healing from. High stress absolutely slows down the healing process. When we are stressed, our breathing increases, but it gets more shallow. Diaphragmatic breathing is key to oxygenation of your bloodstream and therefore your entire digestive system. But it also massages internal organs when you diaphragmatically breathe. In other words, when you breathe through your diaphragm, not through your chest, up here like this. Over-cortialization of the body causes the interior lining of your blood vessels to deteriorate, become more jagged, more rough than smooth. Recent research has come out to say this is a major cause of heart problems, of cardiovascular disease. Why? Because the endothelial cells and lining, made up of cells, the inside of your arteries become jagged, and they are more prone to have some sort of tear or rip. When that rip comes, guess what happens? Cholesterol to the rescue. That's good. Cholesterol is a blood clotter. We don't want our arteries to be bleeding. Are you with me? And it's not like they're bleeding. It's just getting close. So the body's like, hey, we got to make sure this is all patched up. We don't want to have any bleeding in this thing. So it sends cholesterol and it forms a blood clot on the inside of your artery. Are you with me? Overcortialization, chronic stress, makes you age. When cells age, you age, and it makes cells age. The telomeres at the end of a cell, they're like little dangly legs at the end of your cell, or your DNA cell, into your DNA. So that shortens up as your life shortens up. As the life of the cell shortens, so do those telomeres. That's how the life shortens. So what's really happening with stress? It shortens the telomeres. So it shortens cell life. So it's going to shorten your life. And can't you see it? Can't you see people who have lived a really high stress life? You can see it. Chronic stress in the Nun study caused a shrinking and deterioration of the hippocampus. What's the hippocampus? That's where you get your learning and your memory. Your short-term memory especially happens in the hippocampus. Students are more prone to get a cold or get a cold sore during the final exam week. Do you know that? Do you know why? Well, now you do. Stress depresses the immune system. It reduces DHEA. It reduces testosterone in men and progesterone and testosterone in women. It messes with the balance of your estrogen, thereby causing PMS and menstrual and menopause problems. Stress is a deal. Our bodies know how to fix the broken proteins, and our body knows how to kill cancer cells. It knows how to fight infection. It knows how to heal ulcers. It knows how to heal skin lesions. It knows how to mend broken bones. But your self-repair mechanisms, as I said before, don't work well when you're under stress. Man, any more bad news? Yeah, let me just tell you the diseases it causes. The Japanese have a bad disease. It's called karoshi. You know what that means? Sudden death by stress. You actually have a cardiovascular event in a fairly healthy person. Obviously, they're stressed out, so they got some issues. But they don't have coronary heart disease. But they have a cardiovascular event. And the Japanese made a word for it because it happens a lot there. Why is that? Because they're stressed out people. They work too much. They don't have enough fun. Constant stress puts you at much higher risks of coronary artery disease. And I detailed why. The endothelial lining, the cells in the inside of your arteries. So it also produces more plaque buildup. They did a study with monkeys. Did I just say that? A study with monkeys. I'm stressed out right now. Okay, I'm all right. They did a study with monkeys. They found the monkeys that were kept under prolonged stress had more arterial plaque buildup. So we talked about increased belly fat, heart disease, hypertension, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, erectile dysfunction in men, PMS in women, memory loss, depression, bone loss, decreased immune function, autoimmune disease, and complete mental, emotional, and physical breakdown. Well, at least you won't have to work anymore. 75% of all doctor visits and hospitalizations, it is estimated, are stress-related. Stress-related. So stress will kill you. Let's just take a break for a second and have a little fun. All right. Top 10 ways you can be stressed out. Are you ready? Here we go. Number 1, don't say no to anything and get overloaded. That's an easy way to get stressed out. Just yes, 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 yes. Say yes to everybody. Don't plan anything. Just flow. Yeah, that's another good way to get stressed out. Number 3, wait until the last minute and do everything in a hurry. Number 4, receive anything that's said to you that isn't 100% loving as an offense. Just get offended when anyone says anything. Number 5, obsess on everything. Just keep thinking about bad stuff over and over and over again. Fantastic way to be stressed out. Number 6, always want more and never be satisfied. Number 7, expect perfection out of everyone, especially yourself. Stressed out. Number 8, don't relax. Just keep going. You can rest in heaven. No. Number 9, let everything frustrate you. And number 10, worry about everything. Wait a second. I was too stressed out to narrow this down. There's 4 more. Okay, number 11, Don't eat well, sleep enough, rest enough, enjoy life, and certainly don't exercise or give any time to yourself. Okay? Number 12, think about how stressed out everything makes you all the time. That's a good one. So I'm stressed out from that. Just keep thinking about how stressed out you are. Guaranteed to put you in chronic stress. Be afraid of everything, especially for things that have very little chance of happening. And number 14, this is the last one. Talk about how stressed out you are and keep talking about all the things that are going wrong in your life. Just keep talking. Don't just think about them. Just say them out loud, even if you have to talk to yourself in the mirror. Okay. Those are all jokes. This is all practical help. Here we go. What can you do to stress less, to get rid of some chronic stress, to understand stress and reduce it in your life? I'm going to give you some good hints. First, you have to reckon, though, that you have control. You're not a victim to the stress. You're making me stressed out. Nope, they're not. They don't have that kind of power. And you have to understand no one's got the power to stress you out. There are stressful life events. Having a baby is a stressful life event, especially for the mom. I think they're like 14,000 times more stressed out than us men saying, breathe, honey, breathe, you're doing so good. Okay, childbirth, you can't get around it. It's just stressful. It's just stressful. But some things we react to that we don't need to react to, we need to realize we have control over that. We have control over that. And the vast majority of things that stress us out, we have complete control over. Now, there are some people genetically predisposed to stressful episodes going bad. Did you know that? 15% of the people have a nucleotide polymorphism that doesn't allow serotonin to bounce back from a stress event quickly. Again, that's not an excuse. It's just a reality. So what do you have to do? You have to implore stress-reducing techniques all the more if you're one of those people. I just can't get over it. I just couldn't. I can't even. When I'm having a bad golf game and I can't, on the front nine if it's bad, okay. And then the back nine it's bad, okay, by hole 14, I must have this nucleotide polymorphism or something. I don't know. I can't get over it. Okay, some people have stress vulnerability. It's the gene, like you really want to know, but just so you know, I know, NR3C1, it's that gene, and it gives you a vulnerability to stress. Okay, it has to do with your glucocorticoid receptors, so your cortisol stays higher longer. The fact is, you have to implore stress-reducing techniques. We don't just let the tidal wave hit us. Hey, how about, I don't know, get out of the tidal waves or get out of the waves. My kids, when they were young, they loved to go down to the beach and just sit on the sand where the waves were crashing. Spencer did this all the time. Love you, Spence. He would get down there at 2. We ran down to the shoreline a few times. At 2, he would just sit there and the waves, the shore break would come and just nail him, and he would roll up and roll down, and we'd go save him, and he just thought that was the funnest thing ever. Well, you can either do that and laugh at it. I guess that was good on his part. He just laughed at it. Or, I don't know, move up the shore about 15 feet so the waves don't pound you. We've got to implore stress-reducing techniques. The battlefield is in your mind and in your brain. So, what do you have to do? I'm going to give you a few of them. You have to examine why you're stressed. You have to figure out what exactly is stressing me out. What series of things happened? What group would they be in? How am I going to group these things together? And why does that stress me out? Okay, I found out. What's it do? Can I just take a vacation from stress? Can I just put this down? If not, then what stops you from putting it down and take a little vacation? You have to get it down to your core beliefs. What's happening on the real deal inside? What's that thought structure in your head that forces you to do what you're doing being stressed out? What is it? I have 4 questions that I want you to ask yourself. Number 1, what caused or what is causing me to start feeling stressed out? What caused you to start feeling stressed out? Well, when so-and-so was late, I started feeling stressed out. Okay. What was the thing that triggered, in other words, the stress? Number 2, what activity or when did I first start feeling stress? So when did I start feeling stressed, and what was I doing when I was feeling stressed? So it could be I was waiting for Johnny. Poor Johnny. He's always the butt of every joke, or illustration. I was waiting for Johnny and he wasn't there. Number 3, what was my thinking that allowed me to be overstressed? I'm a little stressed out because Johnny is late and we've got this presentation to give together. But how stressed am I? And is it rational that I'm that stressed? So what was my thinking that allowed me to get overstressed? What was the real thinking? And then the last one is, what's the root belief that allowed or caused that thinking? I didn't get enough done today. How much did you think you should get done? Well, I thought I should get all of it done. Well, where's your list? Going through all of this list, it would take 14 hours for this to get done. Wouldn't you agree? Yes. How many hours did you have? 6. Do you see that you've got an issue? Well, yeah, but I wanted to get it all done. Well, why did you want to get it all done? Because I have to get it done. Why? I just do. So you got to get down deep. Why did you have to get it all done? Because my performance dictates my identity. My performance will dictate what other people think of me. So we've got to get down to our core belief system. And when you find that core belief system, then you have to make adjustments to it, because that's the problem that's making you all stressed out. Let me give you some other helpful yet powerful things. Some people are stressed because they're too busy. This is going to be easy to say and hard to do, but get a calendar and don't be too busy. You know, when you plot things out on the daytime and you can see that, well, this is going to take an hour and this is going to take an hour and this is going to take an hour. How many hours do we have in the day? Not enough hours. Well, then you can't get it all done. And you just have to be okay with that. Or your schedule, if I looked at your schedule and you had every hour accounted for, I would say you're a nutcase in a nice, loving way. But I would say, what's wrong with this schedule? Nothing. It's filled to the brim. What's wrong with this schedule? It's filled to the brim. There's no downtime. There's no rest time. There's no relaxation time. How about we put that in your schedule? Some people just have to drag themselves around because they are dead dog tired. How can you not be stressed out at a small event when you're walking around weary and tired? Again, you can have more energy with good physical health and doing all the things that we talked about in the manual and in the subsequent videos. But how about this? Developing a strategy to rejuvenate. You know, God has this really cool thing. It's called Sabbath. We talked about it. How about taking a day off? How about taking some time off at night? I'm going to go into what to do in the daytime, but how about this? Keep your tongue from talking about how bad things are and how stressed out you are. I wrote this down because I obviously I don't want to go into it, but it's real, and I know it's real. Some of you have experienced childhood trauma. And it really is real, and it started you down a pathway to how you process life and living, which has given way to being stressed out chronically. So we need to acknowledge that we have patterns that we still are carrying around, and we need to get help for those patterns because God wants to restore you to the way He designed you to be and not operate in that brokenness from whatever childhood crap that you went through. Some of you went through a lot. Some of you went through a little. Some of you will go through a lot and it won't affect you. It won't affect you as much as the people who have gone through a little. It doesn't matter. What matters is you get some help and you get restoration and healing. That's what matters. And that's going to help you deal with the stress. I got to mention this. It's pretty funny. Not funny like haha, but funny, interesting on how to deal with stress. Are you ready? Touch and social interaction. Touch can trigger a reduction of stress hormones by up to 40%. It triggers different chemicals in the body. One of them is oxytocin, or the cuddle hormone. No, I don't have to cuddle with my bros, but the minute they touch me and we give five, hey, high five, and bring it in, belly bump, whatever you're going to do you know that does work? It reduces stress levels. It also lowers your blood pressure, boosts your immune system, and expands trust and positive thinking because it releases this oxytocin. It also boosts serotonin and dopamine, which are mood-associated transmitters. Touch is the real deal. There's a Touch Research Institute at the University of Miami School of Medicine. And they carried out more than 100 studies into touch and found evidence of significant effects, including faster growth in premature babies, reduced pain, decreased autoimmune disease symptoms, lower glucose level in children with diabetes, and improved immune systems with people who have cancer. Even fibromyalgia syndrome people with that can benefit from touch therapy. What's touch therapy? I don't know. You can get it at home. Hopefully, you got a mom or a dad or a kid, or I think that's why people like dogs so much, honestly. I don't know. I didn't read any studies. It's just kind of, I'm putting it all together. I think the whole dog thing is awesome. Cats, I still don't understand. He kitty goes the other way. I don't know. Not very helpful. But, maybe you have a good cat that you can call. Like the one in that Chevy commercial that jumps off the dock to go fetch a ball. It's awesome. Okay, so oxytocin is not only released through human touch, but get this, it's released through positive social interactions. Positive social interactions. Oxytocin is released. How about a mini vacation? How about a power nap? How about a 3-minute rest? How about a walk and breathe? How about just going for a little walk, get a little sunshine, do some diaphragmatic breathing? That's a good deal. How about exercise? Well, exercise too. Exercise is a definite stress reducer because exercise actually reduces feel-good hormones. So it is a stress reducer on several levels, okay? Except if you do really super high intense exercise, then it actually increases adrenal secretions. So sad to say, you're doing CrossFit all the time and that kind of stuff, because I do that a couple days a week, that actually works opposite of reducing stress. So what reduces stress? Steady state cardio, but number one would probably be resistance training. Get your weights on. Okay, how about this? Meditation. Meditation. I don't have time to lead you through an exercise, but meditate on God's word. I picked something like Psalm 1. Blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked, stand in the way of sinners, or sit in the seat of mockers. And I put myself in there. I just close my eyes. Blessed is the man. I love being blessed. I want to be blessed, God. What is blessed? Well-being. I'm well-being. I prosper in everything. My health, my finances. I prosper with my mental cognition, my emotional stability, my relationships. Blessed is the man when I don't listen to fools, these wicked people that don't know Jesus. Yeah, when I'm listening to their bad advice, when I don't listen to them, I'm blessed. Oh yeah, stand in the way of sinners. Stand in the way of sinners or sit in the seat of mockers. I would go on and say the same types of things. My delight is in the law of the Lord, and his law he meditates day and night. God, I meditate on you day and night. Ooh, what do I meditate on? Oh, your good and precious promises. And I'm just talking all of this out, and I'm allowing my soul to just be rejuvenated through meditation on the scripture. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. There's a technique called one nostril breathing. You hold one, breathe in, exhale. You want to try it one time? Here we go. Breathe in. Breathe out. Do the diaphragm. One nostril breathing. Actually, this signals the brain to close the HPA loop. Hippocampus, pituitary and adrenal. A lot of stuff to remember here. Okay. It's a proven relaxer. Okay. And it even reduces inflammation in the digestive tract. It's a great thing. We talk about being stressed out, and we know that being stressed out causes what? You to be tense. You know, like, hey, you stressed out? No, why? Because you got your face all looking stressed out. Oh, no, that's the way I look all the time. No, that's hopefully not. But when you get stressed out, your muscles are all tense. You have tension. Well, guess what our intestines are? Muscles. So good breathing will ease the tensions even there. Now, I know some Christians are like, hey, wait a second, that whole breathing thing, now you're getting to some kind of new age movement, some Eastern religious nonsense because they do breathing techniques. Let me just tell you, breathing is from God. Okay, the whole breath, He breathed into us, a living soul. The whole lung thing, pulmonary, cardiovascular, that's God. Right? And no one gets to hijack what God already gave us, which is breathing. Okay? Just like music. Well, that rock music, it's all Satan stuff. They used to say that. Maybe some do still. I don't know. But they used to say that. Well, here's the deal. God gave us do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. He gave us all of the notes. How they're used is up to the individual. So I'm going to use breathing techniques like square breathing. Breathe in for 4. Hold for 4. Breathe out for 4. Hold for 4. All right, just doing that, getting in touch with your breathing. I'll tell you how I use this. I'll breathe for about a minute, making sure I'm diaphragmatically breathing. I'm starting to relax because that's what breathing does. It's a scientifically proven thing. And so then I allow my soul to start being at rest, and I take Jesus in. And I'm not taking Him in like through my breath or anything like that. What I am saying on the inside of me is I release the peace of God in my body and in my mind. And I welcome you, Jesus, to come and sup with me, sit down with me right now. I want to align myself with your kingdom again. Now, if that's some kind of Eastern religion thing, I'm not going to say anything more. I get in trouble when I'm sarcastic. So, let me just wind this up. We all handle stress differently. We all have ever-changing biology through diet and exercise and sleep and the microbiome and the gut or the lack thereof. You will handle stress differently. My point is that we have to all manage it. We have to manage it, not just going through life pretending like it's not there or it doesn't get me or I'm strong enough to overcome all of the bad things that my high stress, chronic stress life give me, because you're not. It's biological and you just can't overcome it. What you can do is manage it because you're no one's victim. You have what it takes to not walk around stressed out. And I would encourage you to go back, reread or re-listen to those things that I told you, little techniques, and put them into practice. I just dare you to meditate 3 times a day on Jesus and see if that doesn't reduce your overall stress level for the day. I believe that it will. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's been good. A lot of information. Manage your stress. You can do it. Hey, this is Terry with Total Life Pursuit, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.